Does someone else wish to? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You used the word faith several times, and I think Sam's question is getting at this very same area. If we define faith as dosentia, assentia, and fiducia, you're saying that the essence of the problem is assentia. Assent, agreement with that.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, I am.
All right. How does fiducia, how does the obedience to faith, how does that enter into your definition of faith?
It doesn't. And I'll tell you why. The word fiducia is the same root as the word faith, fides. Repeat the question. I thought everybody could hear it.
And pronounce the Latin word correctly. It's a census and not assentia.
Yes, it's a census. The gentleman's question was, if you define faith as notitia essensus fiduciaque et fiducia, or something like that, what do you do with the fiducia? This student correctly saw what I was saying, that faith is a matter of assent, and not understanding by itself, but understanding plus assent. Then he wants to know about fiducia. Now, fiducia is the same root as fides. And what has happened is this. A person has asked you to define faith, and you say faith is understanding, assent, and faith. Well, that doesn't add anything at all. You're simply repeating the word that you have previously asked for the definition. And I prefer John Calvin, who talks about assent itself being pious. It's not something added to the assent. The assent itself is pious. And so believing, and I really prefer the word believing because the word faith is Latin, and I don't like Latin. I like Greek, pistuo. And belief is assent. It's assent to an understood proposition. And it's a voluntary assent to something you understand, and being voluntary and the nature of assent, it is nothing hypocritical. It must be sincere. That's what assent is. Now, the trouble, I think, in contemporary civilization, at least for the last couple of centuries, is that some people have begun to think that assent is merely something verbal that you say out loud, but perhaps you don't mean. Of course, that is not assent, that is hypocrisy. But assent in its theological meaning is simply the fact that you believe, you accept this proposition. So as the Scripture says, you believe that Christ is Lord, you believe that He rose from the dead, and if you believe those things, you're saved. That's it. Now, the reason I'll repeat it, the reason I don't like that threefold analysis of faith is that the third part of it is just the word that you asked the definition for. And hence the addition of the word fiducia doesn't add anything to your understanding of it. You want to make some rejoinder to that? Oh, I don't mind. I love a brawl.
I think there's no requirement. I think the problem is that in our day, people have the idea that this mechanical, I believe, mechanical understanding, 1 plus 1 is 2. And I think you've answered my part of the question. Real assent involves a change of life.
Well, maybe. That isn't always the case. And I'm glad you mentioned 1 plus 1 is 2. If you believe that 1 plus 1 is 2, that is your assent to that proposition. But the difference between believing that 1 plus 1 is 2 and believing that Christ rose from the dead is a difference in the proposition believed. It's not a difference in the psychology of assent. And you ought to keep clearly distinguished the psychology of assent and the object of various assents, because you can assent to some mathematical principles or some botanical information or something or other. These are all assent if you really believe what you say, but they are not saving faith. They are faith, but they're not saving faith. Saving faith is a species of faith. All faith is assent, but not all faith is saving faith. Yes.
Are you saying that the problem with the unbeliever is basically notitia, not...
No, just the opposite.
Yeah, it's basically the sensus and not notitia.
Yes, I have been saying, to repeat the question and answer form, that the trouble with the unbeliever is that he doesn't believe. All right? He doesn't assent. Now, of course, some unbelievers don't understand either. But there are some people who understand, as Saul the persecutor. He understood perfectly well, but he did not assent.